Good. Now, welcome. My name is Brian Knight and I live near Melbourne in Australia, and it's just turned 5:30 or just after 5:30 in the morning on a Thursday for me at the moment. So, we're here for the Ninja Trading System and a focus on bankers, smart money, sniper, whatever you want to call it. It's trying to, well, it's not trying, it's getting a tightest entry as possible with a minimal stop loss to maximize profits. So that's really what the focus of this is, and seeing the swings and turns of the market in any pair. It doesn't really matter. Okay, let's just share screen to start with. We better go through this. So welcome to this live Forex analysis session. Please note any trades discussed here are to be classed purely as educational only, and that's because we're a group of people helping each other and are not financial advisors. So please only take trades you're happy to take based on your own analysis. As I've always, well, yes, your own analysis. That's what you need. You need to build that trust in your own ability. And I suggest a demo account until you can prove to yourself that you are profitable. Because until then, it would be crazy to really use real money. Always follow proper risk management to protect your account as taught in IM Academy and the Ninja Group, as each trade carries risk as well as potential profit. Now, what proper risk management means is there's a couple of steps in there to make sure that you're using only 1%, for example. This is what I suggest anyway, and other professionals that trade this strategy, 1% of your account on any particular pair in any trade. There's a way to calculate that as well, and I was trying to explain that to someone yesterday. It's like, well, that's cool, he said. It's like, okay. But there is something that took me a while to learn how to do that. Anyway, if the recording of this session goes anywhere and you're watching this and you're not already a member of this Ninja group, exclusive Ninja, then get back to the person who referred, or the person that you're watching this from that's introduced you to it. As an exclusive Ninja member, I have access to go live with a number of professional traders that trade this strategy and other profitable strategies as well. And there is also a full risk disclosure there, and a little note here about us as live session traders. So I need to get that out of the way. It's good. So, well, hi, hello, Rio, and Tom as well. Good.
Hi, Brian.
Now let's just share screen across here. I noticed in our chat, because we've got a chat group, there was some a flurry of discussions. USD-CHF, like just so you know, I've been asleep. So, there's I haven't seen anything since around about. Actually, I went and picked up Claire, so I had a look at the charts around about 10 p.m. my time, which whatever that time is for you in the world. Thomas was watching AUD-NZD. That's an interesting one. And Assad. There's that. There's that young fellow, young Assad. He's just had a birthday recently. Just went around the clock another time. And also, I think Alistair's looking at NCAD. Dalton's on there as well, looking at it, and also too, who else? Oh, yeah, okay. Now, 36 degrees in Bordeaux. Geez, over in France. All right, well, that's it. And they're looking at USD-CHF. Right, but that was early. Oh, was that? That was early in the morning. That was midnight for me. Okay, so that's like 5 hours ago. So 5 hours. Right, let's, where are we now? Can you see my trading view or not?
Yeah.
Yeah, can do.
Oh, there's no green. Oh, that's interesting. Normally there's a green thing around the outside. Okay, it's not there. It's not showing me that I'm showing that, but if I am, that's good. Right, now, I don't know if anybody did this yesterday or whatever. This is 6 a.m. UK time. For me, it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It's something that I spoke about. It's just interesting to see how it turns out. We'll hone in on it. This is on KJPY. It just, you could put it on other pairs if you wanted to as well. I'm just going to go to that and we'll have a look at the time there. So how you set this up, I'll just turn that volume for a minute. So how you set this up is that you're going to put a line. I put it on way before this time. You can put a line at a certain time in the future, not too far, but on the 1 minute chart. So I put this at, again, this is like 3 o'clock my afternoon, which is 6 a.m. UK. What time's the market open in UK at the moment? Or normally it opens, does it open at 7 a.m. or is it later?
Well,
Do you know?
I think it's 8.
8 o'clock. Okay. So it might be 2 hours before the market open. I thought it was 8 as well, but anyway. So this is 6 a.m. So we're finishing off Asian session here, which is this move, and we're moving into the London session as such. Now what we do is do this, put a vertical line on the candle for, don't worry about, not the white one. We're talking about that one red candle, which is when it gets created. Then when it gets created, you need to be here at the chart, because what you do then is you do a line, you know, with the, I think it's with the wicks, because we're really close on, and the wick here. So it's the most recent high before, which was, you know, only 2-3 candles before was the high before. And you're looking at the low just before that 6 o'clock candle as well. So you create this channel in here. Yeah, got that? Then what you're looking at is when it leaves the channel. Okay? That's the sort of the theory on this strategy as such, right? So if you look at where it's left that, it pulls up and back, that would be your entry. Can you see that there is a blue sort of square talking about a potential buy on that? So, and it hasn't, and one of the things that's important to understand here is there's been a big sell there. What's going to happen primarily if we look at it? Probably going to go into a bit of a buy. Can't say how far it's going to be. Yeah. And so if you had of, it's up to you. This is like playing this strategy. If we go, okay, well, we're going to go into a buy or a long position. See that comes back there. We see that you might just not, you might get in about there. Okay. And if you pull that up and, well, you could keep it at a 5 pip if you wanted to. It's up to you. And then these are targets here. These are previous day targets, but there is like 2, and up here is just over 4%. Yeah, on that move there. If you had have got that target or looked at that target, if you've marked your charts up with previous high lows, and this is the importance of doing these orange ones. These are like high lows from or points of interest from way back. You know, I don't know how far back, but they're just showing. And look at it, comes up, absolutely touches at a high, and then pulls back down again. Right? Where does it come back down to? Basically, it comes down to the middle of this channel, or not middle, but back into the channel again, pulls back up, makes a lower high. What does that tell you? Tells you it's going into a sell. You could wait for that to pull down, pull back up again. Here's another, you got a short position just there. You can pull that down to a good 5 pips as well. And here's another target. What's that? Another 4%. Right? And then when it pulls back up and back down again, what's that telling you? What's this telling you? Or this here? Just no. Not yet? Okay. So that pull up back here and creating low high, as it pulled up here and created that, you could get into a buy. Now the thing is, there's that trade. This is more scalping, but the point is, if you wanted to, if you waited, or you could get that, and then here, this could probably stop you out. So I'll just put this here. I'll show you long position on there. If you see that pull back and got in somewhere here, right, and had a 5 pip stop loss. Right, can you see that there? And you went, and, this is another, there's only 3%, right? Well, you wouldn't know that necessarily, because here you're seeing things turn that would have gone back down again, right? Anyway, I'm just following it through in a sequence so that you can sort of see what's going on here. If it did knock you out, like if you lose 1% here, right, as it came back down again, as it pull back up again, because what you're seeing on the multi-time frame is that things are back down the bottom here and moving back up. So if you see this and pull back up again, here's another entry in at this point. Just show you. Again, this is for a buy, not for a sell. So it pulls down as it's coming back up again, right? You could get in, and say you didn't get in till then. We put in a 5 pip stop loss. It didn't come back to that. So this is entry over here. Actually, I'll pull it back over so you can, okay, there. You can see it didn't come down to stop. Even with spread, that probably would have been quite okay. And then you could have quite easily said, right, is that my first target? Is that my next target? It went into the range of the day before. There's another, and that's like a 7% out of that one. And it even went further. It went all the way up to here and created a high, which is like a 9%. And then it even created a high. So if you're still in that trade, you haven't put a TP, you're still like, what's that 10% out of that one trade? How long did that take? From there to there, that's 6 hours. Very quiet again today. This is one pair. So you could go and pick any other pair if you wanted to do a similar thing with it, if you're just focused on the one pair. What do we got? 4%, 8%, lose 1, make it 7 plus 10. You got 17%. If you're able to be awake that whole time. Probably not, but it was probably a good UK times, like where, oh, you could be. This is 6 o'clock UK and you're through to now even. Yeah, all of that's available for someone living in the UK. They're all waking hours. Yeah, it's probably a bit later in France at the moment. No comments? Or even just one of those, anything.
Just listening to you, Brian.
It's all right, it's hard. You have to listen. It's about organizing and taking profits in the market. That's what this is about.
Yes, it is.
So that's a 24-hour period across there on the 1 minute chart. If we go back out to the 5 minute, you'll also see it there from here across. Right? So it pushed down here, went to the that market just before the open of London, pushed up, pulled back, and then New York pushed it up to here. It's now created a high, and if we look here at the multi-time frame, things are starting to bunch up at the top. We'll probably get a pullback down again. It looks like the 4 hour is starting to pull back up. It is overbought. It was overbought there too. It pushed back down and then pushed itself back up. There's a bit of a buying frenzy going on. What we got here? Yeah, there's some Japanese news coming out. Oh, okay. Thank you, Japan speech. So we'll see. I'm looking primarily still for this as in higher time frames, looking for it as sells. So that's that one. If you look at AUD/USD, this is one that that Jeff trades. And if we look at, let's get a vertical on that one. Just showing you could do this on any pair. Just there. That's the candle there. Now it doesn't have anything necessarily before it, so we'll just have a look. See, it's still, this is the range from the day before. I can get rid of that, but I'll leave it in there at the moment. Then we just mark this with a horizontal ray. Please, comment. I'll just mute you, Assad, that's all. Okay, so, and then we're looking at the high off that, which will be over there. To move that to do it. There. So it's those. It's a bigger range. So it broke out of it and pull back down. And then it's there. So this is on the 5 minute. As it broke out of the range, you might think it was for a buy, but the issue is that everything's sitting up near, or the lower time frames at the top. So we're going to see a sellout. So where it pushes up out of here, wait for that high, and then get a sell out of it. And that would have been short. So the issue is that you see it drop back down into it, pull back up. That's the entry just there. You could put a tight stop loss, and then it came back out the bottom and made a low there. That's a good 7% on that one. You just got to wait that period of time to see. If you got into a buy there, say it came out and you went, oh, I'll get into a buy, like you would lose your 1%, but then you could see what was happening here. Look at where the overall trend is as well. Let me just come back here. So you can see what's occurred. See that big push up there the day before? It's going to need to pull back down again. And it basically come back down here to profit out. And now it's gone and push back up again. The 4 hour is on the way down. So it'll probably, as it pushed up here, it hasn't broken that high. It's not broken that high there. So if this, it depends, it was going to move now in another hour and a bit. This will go into Sydney Asian session, so it could just go sideways or not. And basically, as long as it doesn't break these these highs here and then push back down again, you'll get a lower movement on it. Just depends on when that will happen. And if you look at volume, see where the volume, this is where it changed over. I'll show you here. Oops, see it a bit easier. See where it changed over from New York, big move, pull here, and then it went sideways. You can see there's absolutely no volume in that Sydney. Sort of then it moves up in the Asian, drop there. Then you start to see some movement occur here. some volume means, more money comes into the market as far as the trades are concerned. If we go back to KJPY, you'll see the same sort of thing. Whoop. See where Sydney Asian, there's a bit of a spike there, and then that move, then it sort of lulls a bit, and then it comes into a lot more movement there. And then off it goes, and then it just trails off. But it's still got enough momentum to push it up. Yeah, and so now it's going to go a bit quiet. See that? I don't know what that one bit of volume, but it didn't do much. Then the volume increased there to push it up. And then as it came down here, when it came down, the volume dropped off before it started to push back up again. But some of this volume stuff can potentially help. Okay, let's go through some other pairs and go and have a look and see what's going on. So your AUD, we're getting near the end of the week as well. So this is your AUD in this time. Again, big drop, basically came back to below that high. So, I mean, it's up to you. You can go here. No. Yep. Yeah, it came pushed up through that and came back through the zone. Like if you want to put a fib on it, that's all I'm saying. But I can, I can see it basically. If it's pushed down hard like that, it's working its way up to there, comes back, breaks that low to the low, creates another low. I personally thought that this would just pull up and then drop back down again. Right? When I saw this, from this sort of perspective, but it wasn't over. It was oversold down here. It was oversold, so that's why it probably would go into a buy. But I didn't expect that, to be honest. I didn't forecast that. If you're following this and you can see how it's pushed down, back up, and then back down again and created a lower low, then this push up is possible, but it would have been hard to forecast. This could have been some news. I don't know. It doesn't sort of look at, but that's a significant sort of push up on a lower time frame. But it's still going up at the moment. And if we go, where we go to 1 hour. Can you see where that now has pushed down past this fib? So what I'm going to do is just move this down to that low there, off that high. Probably not. It's probably worth it to do this, that high. Because you can see it's gone from there and pushed back into the zone there, dropped there, and then it came back and it actually broke that high. It went past whatever that zone. And then if we look, where are we? Here. Wow. Okay. It hasn't broken this fib off. Where are we? I'll just turn that off. Get that off. Go to the daily. You look at the daily from there. Can you see where it's dropped, pull back? I would expect that to pull back up again, because that hasn't really sort of taken out this big drop that's been in there. But it looks like it's dropping back out. It's gone past this 71, 78. See how it's sort of like dagged around there a fair bit. That's a bit of an Aussie term maybe, but it's just gone up and down and pushed up, then back to it, then back down again. it's like a bit of consolidation going on here at the moment at like at a daily sort of level. And where it's got to go from here. See where it got oversold. It's like it's been in that wave down a fair bit. If we go back to that 1 hour, just want to see where the, you see where the, it has been oversold down there. Now it's sort of in a consolidated state. The 1 hour is pulling it back up again. And if you look where the other fib is, or the bottom of that fib, the zone is actually up in here, right? So we'll see if it drops down out of the bottom there and drops out of that, then, you know, we're in a great sort of sell trend situation. Yeah, you see it came out of that consolidation and dropped. Anyway, that's your AUD on the 1 hour. We're not taking. Yeah.
Actually, the Euro AUD, the 4 hours come. If you go to the 1 hour time frame, look at the 4 hour pulling up out of oversold.
Correct.
So I think it's kind of bottomed out because it didn't break the previous peak on the drop on the left.
It broke this.
No, I mean like all the way over.
Oh, right. Yeah, no, it didn't break that. Correct. You're right. But the point is, Tom, we've been watching NZD CAD. I know it's against CAD and not against Euro, but the NZD has weakened off. So this is Euro weakening off here against the AUD. It means that in actual fact, the Euro has to strengthen, the AUD weaken. Right? And if we look, AUD USD, it has gone down considerably, right? Right, from that. Will it weaken off more? We'll see. See how it sort of, look, okay, well, see how it sort of pushed back up, and it was up at 71. It's now back down to, what are we at the moment? 69. It was 68. It pushed down further. So maybe it's on the way pushing back up. If it does, that means that the Euro will in actual fact weaken off further. It just depends. I'm not willing to call this one at the moment, Tom. But you're right.
Okay.
It hasn't broken that one way over here, but still, the Euro has been taking a bit of a battering. It's just creating lower lows, which means that it did break that there, right? So it's got a sign that it could go up. We just don't know at the moment. You got to look at what happens at the actual time. So Euro GBP. Tell you what, everyone's very quiet and not really like questioning too much at the moment. That's interesting. Right. This is Euro GBP. So Euro has picked up against the British pound, which means the pound has weakened off. If you look, this is on the 1 hour. Right? We've had that big push up, now pull back down. And within this fib, and there's another one here. See how it came up to zone, pull back away. Now it hasn't broken this low. So it's still in a push up to come back into zone. Yeah. Ultimately, I'm looking for it to come back up here. Yeah, from that high there, back up to there. So if we look at that, what do we got? Yeah, see the 4 hours starting to pull back up and the 1 hour's up top. We'll just see what happens with it, but that's more likely that it'll pull back up and create a new high. So if we go down to 5 minutes and we look at that, whoa, okay. So that's broken structure there. It's pulled back up in here. So it depends on, let's go look at, let's do this. You can see it's created a high there. Now sort of just dagging a little bit, but and it's created that low. Right? Is that the lowest low? See, now it's created a high and a higher low. Again, this will be another higher low. And whether it makes a higher high. So is it, like it just depends on where this goes from here, whether it pushes up or pulls back down to this point, or just goes sideways. Right? At the moment, sideways. I'm not going to do anything with this. Right? When we come down to 1 minute, you'll see it. It's just basically a sideways movement at the moment. That would have been a good one. Where are we? Yeah. So this is the day as such. If you had have got that pushed up, you got in there, or that pullback there, that one there would have been nice. Getting that entry there, look at it go. And if you look here, see all those things there? If it pull back down again, then so basically it just pull back up. Don't be fooled by some of this stuff here. You just got to see where oversold there, and then bang, went overboard, pull back. So this would have been the best entry point here. You wouldn't, look, if you didn't know, I'm going to show you. So if you see that does a previous high, pulls back down, creates a lower low, you have to sell. Then it goes into the new day, consolidates in Sydney Asian a bit, plays around, drops down. After a drop down, what are we going to get? We're waiting for a lower low. It's going to pull up and then retest, right? And it basically retested that. Then you see it come up. Oh, it's broken that, create a high. I go, oh, wow, okay. So then it pulls back down. That's where you could enter because it's creating that higher low, and then off it goes up. So if we get a long position on that somewhere in here, and you can do a 5 on that. You can do tighter if you want to do some of it. Yeah. 5. And then I would have probably set my target there because that's the previous high low then. That's only 3%. Where it is currently is 5. That's pretty good. Probably pull it out to the 5 and then see what happens. Anyway, it's gone past there anyway. How long would you have been in the trade? We've got there. If you got in the trade there and you got out, well, when it punched up there, it would have been in 3-4 hours in the trade for that. And here, you could have quite easily put a what? Okay.
I still.
Yes, very good. Helen, you're onto it. So you could see it come back up there. You could put a buy stop anywhere here at this pullback, but sorry, you'd have to wait for it to pull back down and do a buy stop here, wouldn't you? So if you put one just in there where I talked about, I mean, it did come back, but not that much on it. So this would be a bit of a hairy. You'd be waiting a while, and while it does this, thinking, oh, God, will it drop back out? Well, you're risking 1%, big deal. You have to wait for it to be a below before you can put a buy stop in, because if this just went on and kept going down, that would not be activated, or hopefully not activated anyway. Yeah, that's looking at this another way. Right, now let's go NCAD. Still going down. It's real choppy, this. It's really, really choppy. It's very hard to pick an entry for this or a direction as such. Because, if I go 5 minutes to look at that. If I look at that over the time, the number of days there, I'm seeing it. It's like dropping. So it's not really coming back that much to take out some of these pushes. Still, no. For me, I'm just keeping away from that one for the minute. USD CHF. it's just looking at things and seeing, well, oh, is this, so here's a buy on this, which we can, if I go to the 1 hour, we were talking about this. See where it's come up to the zone and then just kept going. It's pushed up past that. So what I'll do is pull this up. So, I mean, it could, okay. Are you happy with that, Tom?
I thought we were still on NZZ CAD.
No,
I was
no.
there. I didn't realize you changed.
Oh,
I was trying
okay.
to figure out what are you looking at.
Yeah, USD CHF.
Okay.
So
The 1 hour.
yeah, so I'm pulling it back up to the previous high, back down to the low. Certainly could pull back up into here. This has been a good push up. All right. So at the moment, though, I'm seeing. Let me just. I'll go down. We'll go to the 5 minute so we can. You can see where it's sort of like tapped out a couple of times here and pushed back up to these. The problem with this at the moment is we've got a low to a high. It pulls back. It creates another high and a low, but not lower than this. That also is not lower. The problem is we don't have a higher high, right? I would expect if this is going to continue, it'll be a higher high. We'll have to just wait and see what happens here for the push up. But that certainly after, if you're looking, let's go 1 minute. It doesn't mean you couldn't take a trade on this. It just means that, where are we? Okay, so see that push down there? We had a push back up. So if I put a fib on after that drop, hang on, sorry. Do that so often, it's just not funny. It didn't make it into that zone there at that point and then drop back out again, right? So it would have been, I probably would have been fooled by this for a target, but anyway, it's at that price now, from after doing that. But if you had seen this, you would know that this would need to pull back up. And what it did is it created a low and then pulled back right back up here, right? Which is below that high over here. Got that? So I'm just concerned that, I'm not concerned, sorry, that's not the right word. I'm just being cautious because I'm feeling that this may now start to go into a sell, because we've had that sell, we had that sell, that buy, it hasn't pulled down lower. It's sort of going sideways at the moment. This is in the New York session. I'd be looking at particularly, if we look here, a drop out. See that 1 hour? Right? So it just depends on what happens here. The 4 hours sort of starting to go down, back up. It's like playing around. We'll see whether we get a sell out of that or not. But the candles will have to show me the high low, the patterns of the market, the structure. Will need to show me what's going to happen with it before I sort of commit to entering in a trade with this. But you could have got a good trade out of that one there if you had been here. Even if you waited till there, that's a nice push.
Right. You know what
Yeah.
I think? I think it's gonna come up and not break that higher high.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be a little push up.
Yeah.
Which will bring everything back up to the hour.
Yeah.
And then it's gonna drop out.
Yeah. I do think that that's potentially
It just fail at that previous high.
As long as it doesn't break it, that's right. And if it does pull back up, we can just put a sell stop in, can't we, Tom, and not have to sort of E2. And we can use some of these previous high lows to set that sell stop on as well, because it would need to come back down past here. It would need to break that structure just over here. Right. And if it did, it would be a nice drop.
Yeah, I'm still looking for only sales out of this.
Yeah, so am I at the moment. But the point is it keeps pushing up though.
Yeah.
So, So and once you wind that rubber band up further and further, and it keeps going up and up, it just has so much more momentum to drop back out of the bottom. So if you're not risking anything on it. Thank you, Tom. So Asada, have you seen anything this your evening? No? Does any of this help? He's busy. All right.
So you want to look at another pair real quick for me?
Absolutely can.
Can we go look at the AUD NZD?
Yeah. You're a sucker, honest. All right.
Mine's favourite pair.
Sorry, whose favorite?
Your favourite.
No, bugger it. Look at this. Look at this crazy stuff.
Yeah.
I'll go to 5 because it's just like,
Well, what's kind of cool is if you go out to the hour,
yeah, I will. Yeah.
and you look at that higher high just to the left,
Yeah.
it literally went up and took out the last Baker candle with the wick.
Yeah. And then dropped out.
I mean to the pip,
yeah.
and it won't break there. It just keeps bouncing there.
Yeah, I know. And it'll drop down now.
Right. That's what I'm waiting for.
Yeah.
But I just thought it was fascinating to watch it go up and,
Yeah,
and I
but-
mean to the pip.
But look at this. This is the crappy thing. Look at this. Like it is predictable, but it's also just such a pain, this thing. It is because the Aussie dollar and New Zealand dollar are so closely tied. Like we're in one region of the world where there's nobody else. And our economies as such, like New Zealand hangs off Australia and Australia gets lots of stuff out of New Zealand, and it's like it's been a long-term relationship. And this is very similar to UCAD. UCAD, if you look at, let's go have a look at UCAD. Where is it? UCAD. You know, it's a little different, but it's very much the same. See this sort of like, it's just a play from one to the other. There's not a lot of, and if you look back at history, it's like, oh, that was a big push. Oh yeah. But AUD NZD has got so much closer. I'll go back to it. Yeah. Just over time.
Yeah, that's the other one I'm waiting to drop is the UCAD.
UCAD, yeah. And the thing is, once you start to see the patterns of the market and you see the push ups, what's it got to do? It's got to drop down, but it comes back up, pushes back down. Well, it's got to push up. It's got to come back down. It's got to push back up. It's got to come, it pushes up. It's got to come back down again. Up. It's got to come. This push up, it's got to come back down again. It has to. When? Don't know. Has it broken that high? No. Right? It's just, but what is really interesting, look at this though. If we go to the 1 minute on this, look at that. Look at that one candle. Look at the one candle, right?
Oh my goodness, how many pips is that?
Probably not that many, to be honest. Let's go from the top of the wick to the bottom. Whoop. It's about 20 pips.
Okay.
It's just, this is the weird stuff that happens, Helen, with this. It's like, because you could cut that out. It's just nothing.
What time is that?
It was for me that's actually 5 a.m. So basically it was an hour and 20 minutes ago. So it was half an hour before I started this session. I just did that. Ding, ding.
Wow, mine doesn't show that at all.
Doesn't it? Oh, this is FXCM. You're on Oanda.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it
but-
doesn't show it at all.
No. Oanda is interesting. It'll show stuff. that I don't get to see. But you see this push up, we're going to get, see that push back down? There, just matched it out. Profited quickly and then pull back up again. And this is the stuff you can't, there's no forecasting ability for that. That is just bullshit, you know, how that occurs. And this is the reason why I don't like AUDNZD. It just does this crazy stuff. Totally unpredictable. But you know, like maybe the point is you see a push up here and you would have been in this consolidation ready for a sell. You might here put a sell stop and it might have actually allowed you to profit, but it just depends on where your target is, because it'll just suck it straight back up and knock out if you've got a tight stop loss. But this now is coming back down to tap this out. If we look at it just there, if you want to get into a sell, you can, you know, like it's depends on what's happening. Let's have a look down here. Yeah, look at it. Yeah. You like this one, Tom, do you?
I like anything I can profit off of.
Good answer. That is a
Yeah, I like
good answer.
I like that one
So
too.
all I'm trying to do every day is I just try and find the one that's at the most extreme, either at the
Yeah.
bottom with all the stochastic or at the top with all the stochastic. Let
Yeah,
it work out from there.
yeah, yeah.
Everything
And
else is in kind of a middle range where I got to work them real hard.
yeah,
And if I can find just one of these a day, like the other day I found one and it was 70 pips in like 2 hours. And I
yeah,
was like, okay, well, that's what I'm looking for. I'd rather have what I feel comfortable knowing it's going in a direction
yeah, yeah.
because it's just maxed out and work that trade either up or down rather than having it, you know, the stochastic somewhere in the middle and I'm trying to figure it out.
Right.
There's always something going off.
Yeah, of course there is. Every day, all the time.
Right.
That's the bit. I'm just looking at it. Oh, jeez. How big is the spread?
Do you set alerts on the stochastic, Dom?
Do I set alerts on my stochastic?
Yeah.
No, but
You
like
just-
on this particular one, I drew a trend line from the bottom of all the drops. Can you do that for me, Brian? Just draw a line across all the bottoms of the drops.
Oh, yeah. I was going to go put a trade on, but that's okay. I'll do that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I was going to put a sell stop on. Sorry, what did you want? I wasn't focused.
Just get a horizontal ray right across where it says low.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, here, from here.
Where it says low, right in the middle.
Yeah, yeah, just there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, not at the bottom. I'm sorry.
Oh, up here.
Up here where it says low. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. And you're getting ready for you want to sell stop.
As long as it stays above there, I'm not worried about it. So
yeah.
I have my stop loss put right there.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for it because on the stochastics, the 5 minute and the 15 are down at the bottom. I'm waiting for the pullback.
Well, they're not. It's pulling back now, but they're not. They're coming down.
Look at the 5 minute.
5. Okay. Yeah. It's pushing down though.
Right.
See how they're all at the
I'm
top.
Just waiting for that little pullback.
Yeah.
I'm getting now.
Yeah. Before a drop out.
On.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was doing. That's what I was doing before you disturbed me.
Oh.
I'm looking for a sell stop here. Like what?
Yeah, it's right.
I see. I can't. I'm gonna have to put. Oh, that's annoying. I'll have to put a 10 pip, I think, stop loss on it because it's just they're so Okay, what do we got? What's that line on? 1.11654. Oh. Oh, that's that. Yeah, no, I think I'd be putting it down here. Oh, you got that there. Oh. 646.
Oh, that's where I had mine, 646.
There we go. Well, there's a few things about great minds, isn't it? Let's see what happens with that. And I'll just move this to 646. Let's see what happens. Because that little push up there, they might even go further back. We'll just see what happens anyway. But after that push up there, we're now getting ready to go. It depends on what spreads do. Like at the moment, what did that do? Got me into the trade. Okay. Oh, because of spreads. Yeah. All right then. Cool. Right. Well, there you go. That's entertaining. Anybody else having a look at anything else? What do we got? Bitcoin. We might go have a look at that and then go look at maybe look at gold or something. Oh, where is it now? Oh, back up to 21. Oh, it did do a push up. Oh, that's interesting. Not very high though. It's like, look at this. Look at this. Like after that drop, look at that. It's just like there's not been much in it, to be honest. There's been a little bit popping up here in slope coin, but I sort of haven't bothered too much. No? Come on. Play fair. And well, yeah, it's pretty tight on. See, this hasn't come back to that zone. It's highly likely that'll come back to here before it takes off or not. So I'm not going to, that again, I wouldn't be taking that trade on there. Oh, young Alistair's on in Bordeaux. In Bordeaux. All right. And what else? We'll go look at gold. Gold US. 175.52. It's really dropped off, hasn't it? Let's go look at the hour on it. Yeah, look at that drop. What's it doing now? It'll probably come back up here somewhere. You can see it pulling back up anyway. It's just the more you get used to the structure or the way the market moves, the more you have a chance of being able to profit out of it. And it's 1 minute. Oh my God. No, it's just consolidating. So just got to get ready for it. It will probably sell out. We'll just see. As long as it doesn't break, if it breaks any of these ones, that low there, it may come down before it pushes back up again. See those moving? Anyway, all right. Questions? Alistair, what? Oh, have you got good Wi-Fi? Or it looks like good Wi-Fi.
Yeah, the Wi-Fi here is phenomenal.
Yeah, nothing like that. Nothing like that pommy crap that you got back home.
No. It's a sort of hotel or apartment thing, flat. Yeah,
Wow.
it's all right. Very
Fantastic.
warm.
Yeah.
30 odd degrees.
Yeah. 30 what?
It's 29 just now. It was 36, 30, no, 37 earlier.
Wow.
36. Yeah, it's warm.
Still very warm. Yeah. Well, it's 9 degrees here and we had a bit of rain. So don't worry. In another 6 months, basically, we'll be 40 degrees and you guys will be shivering around Christmas time or just after. So,
I'm sure.
yeah. Do you have anything you would like to? How many trades did you be able to get on? Because you're on a holiday or something now, aren't you?
No, nothing at all. I looked at it this afternoon. We popped back in. We checked in here this afternoon, so I had a look when we were in. But things had moved. There were trades today, definitely.
Oh, there were heaps of them. Yeah.
Definitely had stuff going on. And I actually I looked just as I was logging off, did jump on, looked at gold and thought, oh, yeah, that's done one as well.
Mm.
So yeah, I'm not going to have any time just now.
Okay.
I can't do it on the phone.
No. Well, it's starting to get a bit more light here. I've got to, got to go this morning to see whether we've got any more lambs. Got to make sure the water and the feed for the chickens is all right, and all those sorts of things I've got to do. So lots of stuff to do in between trading.
So now we just got back now. So yeah, I watched. I saw you on Facebook still, so I just turned it on for a second. I was
Thanks.
shouted at for doing. I was shouted at for turning the computer on. Don't put it there.
Yeah. It's interesting, isn't it? It's like, Anyway, I get up early in the morning, people are asleep, so there's no shouting. It's good. Anyway, all right. Well, we'll see. I don't know. I was just thinking this morning. I was thinking, it depends. Do I take a day off tomorrow or not, or just see what? Well, I plan on being on same bat time, same bat channel tomorrow. It'll be the end of the trading week. Next week is non-farm payroll, so there'll be a bit of things moving around. There's still opportunities in trades, but
I'm sure you're due a day off.
No, it's all right. It's fine. What are we doing, Tom? Look at that. See how it's pulling back up, and now it's look at this AUD/NZD. Let's see what happens, eh?
Yeah. The 5's already turning back up. The 30 hasn't moved yet.
Yeah, no. Well, yeah, correct. And it's like, what are we, half an hour off it going into Sydney?
Yeah, I'm waiting. I'm not entering yet.
Yeah. Well, mine activated because of where I put it with spread. I'll show you. It was a big, like on my broker, it just went like boof, boof. I had a bit of a jump. That's why it put me in. But that's okay. I'm not worried. I got 1% on it. Like a big deal. Stop losses up there. I put a 10 pip, just so you know. If it comes up and jumps in, I'll just have a look. All right. Until next time, take it easy, everyone. All right.
Thank you, Brian.
No worries, Helen.
Bye,
Thank you
everybody.
for being there. Okay.
Cheers.
I hope everyone got something out of it anyway. If you did, great. If you watched the recording and you just put a note under the live, that'd be really
I'll
nice.
have a look at the recording when it goes on. That's good. Cheers.
No worries. Okay then. I'm
Thanks.
just gonna.
See you soon.
Yeah, no worries. Ciao.